the very first thing you ever read in the newspaper were the comics. And even though you might turn to the financial section first nowadays, I'll bet you still get a laugh from the funnies.
This is Kudzu. He's a would-be writer who receives absolutely no spiritual support from his minister, no attention from his true love Veranda, and nothing but criticism from his mother. But in Bypass, North Carolina, that's about par for the course. Doug Marlette created Kudzu about a year ago, and the strip has caught on big all over the country. Marlette insists the strip does not reflect his own life. Well, not really.
Kudzu is loosely based on me. I mean, he represents an aspect or a strain of myself. When I was a kid, the comics were just something very personal and something I really, it was almost a sensual experience. You know, the preacher is sort of loosely based on a friend of mine who is a preacher and is a very funny individual. And I've always thought his style of humor was something that would be fun to capture. But they're not definite people. Friends and family worry that they are. People are always accusing my wife of being Veranda. It's just, you know, can become annoying when you consider it. But there's a little resemblance between her and Veranda.
Being trendy never bothered Herman. He is neither serene nor subtle. This is your basic one-panel, go-for-the-gut humor, and that's just fine by Herman's inventor, Jim Unger.
Herman is my medium, that's all it is. And a cartoon or a canvas for Picasso or a piece of writing paper for Hemingway or William Shakespeare is simply a medium. And all you're doing is you're using whatever means you have to get across what's in your brain into someone else's brain. But when I started out, I was awful. And I think the thing that sort of swung it that way obviously wasn't the drawing. I mean, it was the humor, which goes back to my original point, that it's the brain that really matters and the drawing is just a sort of the way, and people understand that, you know.
This fat cat has graduated to full-fledged institution. The name is Garfield, and he has passed in less than 5 years from simple comic popularity to a fame that rivals Snoopy and Blondie. The man who breathes life into the cynical feline is the pride of Muncie, Indiana, Jim Davis.
Don't write every day. I think it'd be virtually impossible to be funny every day. I only write Garfield on funny days. Some mornings I wake up feeling like, hey, I'm funny today. On those days I set aside what I usually have planned and I write. And on a good funny day I can write 2 or 3 weeks worth of gags. In the interim then I do the artwork until another funny day strikes. So I only have to be funny once or twice a month. So I have no real rhythm, no regular pattern as far as a working pattern. But I have to work more or less on mood.
And then there is the Atlanta Constitution's resident brushmeister, Sam Rawls, a.k.a. Scrawls, an award-winning cartoonist and illustrator. His pen is as deadly as it is funny. Nothing or no one is safe from Scrawls.
I don't use a pistol approach, I use a scattergun approach. I like to be able to get a Republican today and a Democrat tomorrow and an independent the next day. So it is equal hostility towards all. I've had people call me and want to know why I kept picking on, why I didn't leave Mr. Nixon alone. And my response to that is tell him to leave me alone. If he leaves me alone, I'll leave him alone. So, but he's fun to draw. Yeah. I'm glad to see he tries to come back.
Sometimes you only need to look down the hall to find cartooning expertise at work. TV5 artist Cal Warlick has collected 5 Emmy Awards for his art and illustrates Weekend's Wacko section. Cal's love for cartooning is very simple.
I think what I like about cartooning is actually making people laugh. It does me good to see kids come through the station and they will stop and look at some of the cartoons that I've done and they will really get a laugh out of it and smile. That's good. I like that. Oh, I think I'm fast. You have to be fast if you're working in television because you've got deadlines. And you don't have all day to sit and think about what you're going to do. You have to determine what you're going to draw and do it.
Now, if you think breaking into the funny pages is easy, think again. As newspaper space shrinks, competition has become extremely intense with no more than 2 or 3 news strips making it every year. Doonesbury and Bloom County started out as comics in college papers. 2 ambitious, though somewhat off-the-wall cartoonists at the University of Georgia hope to follow that trend. Art Roach and David Thiel draw the daily strip Comfortable Ignorance for the Red and Black in Athens. Now, although they've been in operation only 9 months, they've earned national recognition for their satirical antics. Art and Dave feel it's a total collaboration that makes their strip work.
It's your own idea. Just if anything's your own idea, you're really kind of prejudiced towards it. You know?
Exactly.
So you need 2 people, you know, and us being good friends, we can say, no, you're a dummy. Stop it. Shut up.
It's not going to work. It's
and you know, it's easy. We can do that, and we don't get mad or anything.
I've only come at him one time with a knife, I think.
It wasn't even sharpened though, and I mean, no, it was no problem at all. Because I keep a gun.
Yeah.
But no, we enjoy doing the strip though.
Each of these artists carry with him his own views on life and the differing philosophies concerning comics. But they all agree with Jim Davis.
Al Capp told me it takes a couple of things to be a cartoonist. Number 1, it helps to have been dropped on your head as a small child. Number 2, you must have no desire, talent, or ability to do anything useful in life.
See you in the funny papers.